Hello, I'm Clovis Casali in Paris, and this is Encore. Today, it's all about cinema. Coming up on the show, the Berlin Film Festival opens with a comedy on Hollywood's golden age. The Cohen brothers team up again with George Clooney.
Name is Detective Laurel Hester.
A drama on gay rights stars Ellen Page and Julianne Moore. It's called Freeheld.
To give death benefits to my partner.
And French director Anne Fontaine returns with Agnès Dei, the story of a doctor who assists a group of pregnant nuns raped by Russian soldiers in World War II. And to talk us through all of these, I'm joined by cinema critic Thomas Sotinel from newspaper Le Monde. Welcome. Hello. It's great to have you with us for the 66th edition of the Berlin Film Festival. It's on this week with a prestigious jury president, Meryl Streep.
Yes, and the American star and her colleagues, Clive Owen, Italian actress Alvaro Vaher, and also German director Lars Eidinger will have to choose among 18 films competing for the Golden Bear. All in all, 400 films will be screened during the festival.
Well, tough choices there as always. And the opening film is called Hail Caesar. It's directed by the Cohen brothers. As always, with them, a host, a string of stars: George Clooney, Scarlett Johansson, Tilda Swinton, Ralph Fiennes, to name just a few. You'd think it can't go wrong with such talents on the silver screen. What's the deal?
Oh, and it doesn't go wrong. It's a satire of the old Hollywood studio system with Josh Brolin playing a fixer for the studio, a man who has to bail out the stars when they're in trouble, like George Clooney, or to make the directors toe the line. It's very funny, very clever, and it gives the brothers an occasion to spoof different genres, musicals, noir, western.
Well, I'll surely be watching that one. Let's take a look at the trailer of this film by the Cohen brothers, the new Cohen brother film, Hail Caesar.
An army of technicians and actors and top-notch artistic people are working hard to bring to the screen our biggest release of the year. Hail Caesar is a prestige picture with one of the biggest stars in the world. Hello, Bert.
Hello, Mr. Maddox.
Lawrence, Obi, thank you all for coming. The studio needs your help. Ed Whitlock has been kidnapped.
This is bad. Bad for movie stars everywhere.
She sings the perfect harmony. So give me all of your life. Give me all of your life. Give me all of your life. Give me all of your life.
So, Thomas, that film is not in competition, looking to win the Golden or the Silver Bear. What are your thoughts on the selection this year in Berlin?
Well, it's a mix. On one hand, you have very edgy projects. You have 2 documentaries in competition. Also, 8 hours long black and white movie.
8 hours?
Yes, by Filipino filmmaker Lav Diaz. We'll see how Meryl Streep sits through this.
If anyone falls asleep, maybe.
Maybe some people will, but it should be quite interesting.
Okay.
And on the other hand, you have eagerly awaited films like the new Jeff Nichols project, which is called Midnight Special. It's a science fiction movie set in the Deep South with Michael Shannon and Kirsten Dunst.
And among the films competing for the top prize, you've got French films. One of them is with the legendary actress Isabelle Huppert. It's called Things to Come. And there's another one by veteran director André Téchiné. It's Being 17. It's about the troubled relationship between 2 young men. It's set in a mountainous village in southwest of France. And there's a lot more to it than just beautiful landscapes.
Yes, of course. As always with Téchiné, it's a very sensitive movie about growing up. It's seen from the point of view of the young boys, but also from the point of view of the mother. And it gives Sandrine Kiberlin a very good part, very interesting part. And this, and André Téchiné is 73, Johansson Love, who directed Things to Come, is 35, but their films have a lot in common, especially great mother's role, which is the case for Isabelle Huppert, who is wonderful in the Johansson Love film.
And the Berlin Film Festival will end on February 21st, and we'll be, of course, following it closely here on France 24. Moving on to a film that's just come out here in France. Freeheld is based on a true story about two women who fall in love and who fight for equal rights, with one of them battling with cancer. This drama stars Julianne Moore and Ellen Page. Micaela Cabrera has more.
It was love at first sight between Laurel, a police lieutenant, and Stacy, a young mechanic. The story of the film Freeheld is based on a real-life lesbian couple.
What's the matter? I think you pulled a muscle. Well, you get it checked out.
As they settled into domestic bliss, Laurel was diagnosed with lung cancer.
She's had so much to deal with. She's so young.
I love you.
It's not fair.
No, it isn't.
In my career, I've never asked for special treatment. I'm only asking for equality.
The police officer petitioned for her pension to be transferred to her partner upon her death, a request denied by conservative county officials in New Jersey. Supported by activists, the couple launched a campaign for their rights as a homosexual couple to be recognized.
The irony is that the last year of her life, she said, I've done this my entire life for other people, and now I want justice for the woman that I love.
The relationship of the real-life couple and their day-to-day struggle as Laurel's cancer worsened was the subject of a documentary also called Freeheld. Without meaning to, the two women became spokespersons for homosexual rights. The story was particularly poignant for actress Ellen Page, who came out of the closet last year.
Be a part of telling their story means so much to me, particularly as a gay person. Those people who stand up in those really, really difficult moments and decide to come out and decide to fight for justice and fight for equality.
Laurel Hester died in 2007, relieved that she was able to provide some security for her partner, as their county eventually recognized their rights.
States gradually adopted same-sex marriage with more or less resistance. Finally, last year, on June 26, 2015, the U.S. Supreme Court legalized marriage for same-sex couples across the country.
Marriage for all, a dream that Laurel and Stacy could not have imagined, but their victory played a part in advancing the cause.
An ambitious and promising film on paper, because Thomas, you were quite disappointed, weren't you?
Well, yes, rather. The film is sincere. It works as a piece of information. You get to know the story, and it tells it rather exactly. The actresses are sincere, very involved, but somehow the direction falls flat, and it's not as moving as you would have expected it to be.
So slightly disappointed there. There's another film, on the other hand, that you did enjoy. It's come out in France, and it's also based on a true story. It's very moving. It premiered at the Sundance Film Festival last month. It's called Agnus Dei. It's directed by Anne Fontaine. It's about a Red Cross doctor who goes to assist a group of pregnant nuns who were raped by Russian soldiers in World War II. It was quite surprising to see French director Anne Fontaine pick such a story, isn't it?
Yes, up till now, her movies have always been about lust, desire, ambition, like her movie about Coco Chanel. And this is about faith, about belief. And she shows how these women deal with this terrible crime and how their faith holds up or doesn't hold up to the shock. It's very beautifully played by a group of Polish actresses and Lou Delage, who play the young French doctor.
He's a rising star, Lou Delage, in French cinema.
Indeed. And it's very beautifully shot also by director of photography, Caroline Champetier. It is literally a women's movie.
And it's a powerful film. Let's take a listen to the director, Anne Fontaine, who explains that unfortunately these cases of rape in war, it's very much still a contemporary issue. Take a listen.
This kind of thing still happens in war zones in some parts of the world. Rape is used as a weapon against women and even nuns.
Before we go, Thomas Sotinel, there's another film you wanted to talk about. It's called El Clan. It won the Silver Lion in Venice for the film festival, of course, last month. And it's also the biggest hit so far in Argentinian cinema.
Yes, it is, and it's based on a true story, the crimes of the Puccio family, El Clan. The father was the henchman for the military regime. At the time of the Falkland War and the fall of the regime, he set up shop as a private kidnapper. ransoming and killing its victims. And Pablo Trapero, the director, makes a thriller, really gripping thriller out of this story, but also a very intelligent political film.
So it's at the crossroads of genres. You saw it. What did you think of it exactly? Did you like it? Was it powerful?
Yes.
Did you feel?
It is very gripping. It's shot a bit. It's a mix of, if you want, Martin Scorsese for the thrill of the chase, of the crime, and of Buñuel because of the conflict between daily reality and things that cannot even be imagined.
And it was a huge hit in Argentina. What about in the rest of the world? Do we have numbers about that?
I think it's been a big hit in Spain too, where it has already been released. And I think it will be in France, where Pablo Trapero is quite well known too.
Well, Thomas Sotinel, it was great having you. I know that you have to go very soon to Berlin for the film festival. You're covering for the newspaper Le Monde pour you, as you say. Great talking to you. That's it for today. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to follow us on our social networks and on our website, www.france24.com. I now leave you with a clip from that film we've just been talking about, El Clan, The Clan.
Los pies, Alex. Ayuda a tu madre, que está muy cansada. Vamos, Alex. Adriana. Adriana.
¿Qué?
En un rato está la comida.
Bueno.
Tranquilo, es la comida.